Season 3 has finally brought Halo Infinite a new weapon. It may have taken a full year, but we actually finally have something new to shoot people with, and that is the Bandit rifle. If you haven't used the Bandit rifle, which you probably have if you're watching this video, it's effectively the DMR but without a scope. Single shot weapon, 5 shots to kill, and in reality it's very similar to the Halo 5 Magnum, but now it looks like a rifle. Ever since this dropped, and even before it dropped, people have been debating, should Halo Infinite have Bandit rifle starts? Competitive, casual, big team battle, all the different modes, would they benefit from Bandit rifle starts? Well, that is what we're here to talk about today, so let's hop into the game. Alright, here we go. Some BTB with Bandit rifle starts. So obviously not only does the competitive community want Bandit rifle starts, I also think a lot of the BTB community wants Bandit rifle starts because let's be honest, the sidekick just isn't that fun to use. But this is actually the new map Oasis, which we did a video on the other day. But we're playing this with Bandit rifle starts now, which obviously is a little bit different. I'm kind of excited to mess around with this. I've been using the Bandit rifle in ranked, obviously. Oh my god, I thought I'd choke that. And I actually really like the Bandit rifle. I really do think Bandit rifle starts could help this game out. Now I know Tashi said HCS was not going to go the route of Bandit rifle starts at least until next year, which I have my own reservations about, but not the point of this video. I think at the very least though, they could start updating some of these matchmaking playlists. Now obviously again, I assume the HCS ranked playlist will probably need to mirror the HCS settings since that seems to be the direction they want to go. Again, I have my reservations about that, but maybe an additional ranked playlist or just some social playlists could have Bandit rifle starts, at least in the queue as a variation. I think that would be a lot of fun. And what really makes the Bandit rifle so good, well, one, I mean, it's just a cool sounding and looking weapon, if we're being honest, but what people really like about it is the fact that the Bandit rifle kind of has a skill gap to it. So if you're using the battle rifle and you're of above average skill, I would say, especially if you're on controller, the aim assist with the BR and the magnetism makes it fairly easy to 4 to 5 shot people on a fairly consistent basis. That's why a lot of competitive Halo basically turns into, rather than a skill show, it turns into kind of which team is the best, which team has the best positioning, which team can work together the best. And obviously that isn't 100% the fact. I mean, people like Lucid have shown they are superior to the competition for quite some time now. But in general, a lot of professional players will agree that Halo Infinite has a quote-unquote low skill gap. And a lot of that comes obviously from the neutered movement compared to Halo 5. But it also comes from the fact that the battle rifle is just fairly easy to use. And so that's what the Bandit rifle does. It's a little bit harder to use. It actually has a faster time to kill if you're up close than the battle rifle, but similar to sort of the Halo 5 pistol, there's a bit more, there's a bit more needed from the player to hit those perfects and to get those kills on a regular basis. You might not consistently always get 5 shots with the Bandit rifle. You might miss a few shots, which kind of is where that skill gap comes from. So that's kind of where the competitive side comes from, right? But I also think the BTB side could really just use a weapon that isn't the sidekick to start with. The Bandit rifle, while you might not be able to full spam it like the sidekick up close and kill someone pretty quickly, it definitely has a bit more range, which makes the flow of these BTB maps feel a little bit better. Now I understand why BTB doesn't have BR starts in this game, because again, the BR is basically a laser that's not overly hard to use. If every single person in BTB had a BR, you would be getting constantly cross-mapped. We saw this in Halo Reach, especially on PC, when there was DMR starts and everyone had a DMR, that you would get melted across the map. But I think luckily you don't have that problem here with the Bandit rifle. It isn't going to melt people across the map consistently, but good players will be able to utilize it to melt someone across the map pretty consistently. And unlike the current scenario in BTB, where if you spawn with your AR and your sidekick and you just kind of get caught out by someone that already has a BR and they're shooting you from long range, it can be a fight that can be very difficult to win. You might just end up dead and kind of frustrated, but now you have the opportunity to just outplay them. Sure, the BR is going to be a little bit easier to use longer range, and it's going to be easier to get those kills, but you could easily take them out here with the Bandit rifle. Plus, obviously, the Bandit rifle just looks and sounds cool. And I think utilizing the new weapon, especially a weapon like this that can easily be a starting weapon, they should have playlists utilizing this weapon. This is a new weapon to the game. We've waited a year for this baby. Let's get it into matchmaking. Let's get some playlists based around this weapon, other than stuff just like Tactical Slayer. I want to see Team Slayer with Bandit rifle starts. I want to see BTB variants with Bandit rifle starts, and not every game needs to be Bandit rifle starts, you know? If you go back to the quote-unquote glory days of Halo 3 used to have all sorts of different stuff, you know? You had BR starts, you had AR starts, and you had all of these in one playlist. That's where the kind of meme veto for BRs came from, because people would veto all the non-BR modes. But you had the opportunity to have all these different variants. Not every game needed to have the same starting weapons. And really, besides special playlists and stuff like Tactical Slayer, that doesn't exist as much in Infinite. I do believe now Team Slayer has BR starts, and it also might have sidekick starts. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'd love to see them go ahead and expand that, you know, get the Bandit rifle in there in some of the variants. Maybe it has lower weighting if they don't think it's very good. That guy was, jeez. Maybe if they're worried about the balance, it could have a lower weighting for now until they kind of see how it plays out. But I want to see the Bandit rifle in ranked. To be honest, I want to see the Bandit rifle in matchmaking, in ranked, in casual, in BTB. I want to see it everywhere. And to be honest, similar to how 343 has learned that when you put new maps in the game, you need to have a playlist for them, there should have been a playlist for Bandit rifle starts. Even if it wasn't permanent, which I would argue it should be, but even if it wasn't permanent, there should have been a playlist that was Bandit rifle starts on 4v4 maps and BTB. Honestly, that playlist now with the new arena maps, in my opinion, should have been Bandit rifle starts, because that would have allowed you to not only play the new maps, but also use the new weapon on a regular basis, besides just picking it up. I think that would have been a lot of fun. Hey, look at that. Take that, crafty sack. I like the Bandit rifle. It's fun. It sounds so cool, too. I think that's kind of why I like it. And it definitely takes skill to get these kills. Like, with the BR, I feel like I can kind of fall asleep on the controller and I'll still kill someone. But you actually have to aim with the Bandit rifle. You definitely can't miss. I've only used the Bandit rifle on controller, but I also imagine for my MNK brethren out there, you know, you brave souls, though you do have aim assist now, let's be real. It's a little bit easier for you these days. But I think even the Bandit rifle would feel really nice on MNK too, just by the virtue of it being that single shot gun. Where's this guy going? Come on. I will say though, obviously, especially in ranked, or if they were going to put the Bandit rifle in competitive, it probably does need some type of D-scope. Whether they add an actual scope on it or they just implement D-scope onto this one with the current model, I think you could do either, honestly. The scope would make more sense, you know, visually, but I don't know if you need the scope per se. But I do think for competitive that would kind of be necessary, because currently without D-scope, you can make some plays with the Bandit rifle that go a little bit unpunished that probably should have some repercussions, which something like the BR currently has, since it does have D-scope on it. And obviously we don't want to go back to Halo 4 where our starting weapons don't have D-scope again. I know the sidekick doesn't, but that's kind of its own thing. But specifically talking for competitive, I do think this thing would need D-scope. Oh my god, that was a nice shot. Look at that nade just sitting there forever. Where'd this guy go? Oh, here we go. He was trying to use the skewer. Ooh, there we go. Ah, nice, nice. Shit. Oh, shit. 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 Oh, we got him. Let's go, dude. Let's go. With that said though, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about Bandit rifle starts. Do you want to see them, or do you prefer the BR and sidekick that we currently have? As always, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Let me know if you guys want to see more Halo Infinite content. And with that said, I'll see you all next time.